What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Kenny Terrell YouTube channel. First of all, before we begin, I just want to say, you guys, if I haven't said it lately, thank you guys so much for the support. This channel is, a new version of what we already previously did, as you guys already know. However, I'm putting my all, more than ever into this channel. So I just thank you guys for just riding me, especially if you came from the other channel. And if you're new, thank you so much for seeing something in this channel that would make you want to subscribe and allow me to be your messenger. But overall, you guys, even if this channel does not pop off the way that I had envisioned it, I'm still proud of what we created together. And for that, I thank you. Okay, enough about that. Before I get sentimental, welcome, you guys. Welcome back to another video here on Kenny Terrell YouTube channel. Today's topic, you guys, we have to take it back. We have to go back to our roots. This is the type of video that I probably would put on Patreon more so than the public YouTube, because a lot of times when we go deep, YouTube don't be feeling it. Typically, it's like it's not maybe fun enough, interesting enough, or it's not about a topic that they want to watch, such as love. But it's something that we all need to hear. So today's topic is entitled, "What About You is Inherited from Your Ancestors?" So I thought this would be interesting and fun, because it'll be a nice way to maybe explain why we are the way that we are, or maybe why the things that we do, or why the things that we believe in is what we believe in, and why we strive for the things that we are. I think it would just make a lot more sense and give you a lot more deeper meaning and clarity to who you are as a person and as a soul being. So I think this would be fun, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into these piles. We have pile number 1, which is the carnelian. We also have pile number 2, which is the citrine. We also have pile number 3, which is crystal quartz, and pile number 4, which is the black tourmaline stone. As usual, please choose with your gut and not with your eyes, and I will catch you at your reading. What is up, pile number 1? Welcome to your reading. This is for those who picked the carnelian stone. We're about to find out what about you was inherited from your ancestors. The cards that they gave us are the High Priestess. I knew this card was going to come out in a reading. We have the 3 of Wands. We have the Temperance card in reverse. We have number 1, Prosperity Begins. This is also the Ace of Pentacles. We have Farm. We have the Hawk. We have El Moria, Awakening Presence. We have Prioritize. And this card that we'll get into later. Okay. Pile number 1, you are a part of the family, without a doubt. And by part of the family, I mean a part of the psychics, the mystics, the mediums, the empaths. You're a part of this family. And this may be something that you don't know. And maybe this is something that you have yet to discover about yourself. But this is the premise of what your ancestor has bestowed upon you. And I see that it's something that is meant to be used to help people, but also it's something to be used for your own benefit as well. I also see that you were kind of you inherited an immense amount of what I'm feeling like, of feminine energy. And it doesn't matter if you are, whatever vessel your soul decided to step into in this incarnation. I'm talking about feminine energy as far as feelings, sensitivity, empathy, intuition, obviously. So that's what I'm referring to as well. That you were bestowed immense amount of feminine energy. And yeah, so let's begin. So we have the high priestess. So with you, I'm actually getting you actually have two sides to you. So this could be one of the cases in which you may be a male watching, and you somehow always felt connected to whether it's things that are considered feminine, and maybe you are someone who doesn't necessarily abide to society's rules, to what gender may be. I'm getting somewhat of a dichotomy. So maybe you are, or maybe you could be someone who could be who grew up with a religious background, but all of a sudden you have expressed interest in the occult, which in some cases could be very taboo and go against, traditional religion. I'm seeing like a dichotomy with you, and that was purpose. There's a purpose behind that. They're saying that it's really to prove people wrong. What people once believed to be true is meant to show people a different perspective or side. So that's one thing. But overall, this is psychic abilities. This is being very intuitive. This is the card for psychic intuition. I'm also getting, for some of you guys could be mediums, may not even know it. You guys, I'm also getting like prophetic. Like some of you guys could be, I see, even if you haven't discovered this about yourself, which you will in this lifetime, absolutely. But if you haven't yet, you may experience maybe a mild version of this, such as deja vu, maybe dreams, like prophetic dreams. There's one thing I heard that, when someone had dreamt about fishes, that means somebody was getting pregnant or something like that. But you may experience mild version of that, and that's only going to lead to more of a bigger awakening. But yeah, overall, they gave you your abilities, your psychic abilities. You could be doing what I'm doing. If not, I see that whatever field that you're going to be doing, that those psychic abilities and that heightened intuition is meant to help you progress in your own endeavors, regardless if it's something like what I'm doing. It could be in any field. So we have the Three of Wands here. With you, I'm also getting someone who's very much of a manifester as well. So I think that could be the dichotomy as well, because I feel like manifestation, which they're showing me like the magician, is masculine energy, while the high priestess is feminine energy. So I'm getting, you guys have the best of both worlds almost. I do see that one side is a little bit more pronounced than the other side, but the Three of Wands is a manifestation card. I think this is one of the gifts that ancestors have gave you, is that you may experience some moments in this life in which you are, and this could be some type of past karma, but past life karma. You may experience some hardships, or maybe like things in which you are trying to progress in life, in whatever field that you are trying to be in, or whatever progressing that you're trying to make. And there could be some type of delay or some type of long journey to get there, while other people may take them overnight just to do it. But they're giving you strength in a sense of perseverance and tenacity. Yeah, they're saying that anything that is going to hold you back, you're given the power to remove yourself and really let go from that. I'm also seeing like any type of addictions or any type of issues such as that like alcoholism, anything like that. Those are things that you may experience. However, you will overcome them. Like you're meant to have that type of strength. So yeah. But overall, I do see masculine energy in a form of manifestation. So you may have the ability to really manifest rather quickly or effectively in this life. So yeah, we also have the Temperance card in reverse. So once again, I'm getting the duality of the nature of you, and I feel like it's in reverse because, like I said, one side is more stronger than the other or more prominent, and I do believe that's the feminine side. So, and like I said, that's for a reason. I do believe, I'm getting like, for example, it doesn't have to be you, but if you're a male watching, you could have maybe very pronounced feminine energy. And like I said, it's meant to really show people that there's more ways of being a person, and that maybe what society believes that someone should act and behave isn't necessarily, the only way. So speaking of your psychic abilities, in which I know that you have, or whatever gifts that you have, we have the Ace of Pentacles here. So I believe that one of the things that the ancestors had equipped within you is the ability to kind of monetize and maybe even gain some type of stability from these gifts that they gave you. There is going to be some type of opportunity that you're going to be working on, and this is going to be like a golden opportunity. So it's something that is meant to have longevity in this lifetime. It doesn't have to be you doing what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like I said, you have innate intuition, which could be great from a business standpoint. But overall, you are given these gifts so that you could also prosper in this life. Now let's get into this. We have farm. So they're saying that you guys could have definitely had a past life on a farm, or this is also reminding me of having y'all remember that show they're showing me that Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie show, Simple Life. That was reality TV gold, by the way. But they're showing me that you may have either had a simple life in one of your past life, which is also influencing this life, in a sense that you could be someone who doesn't necessarily feel the need to really have everything in order to have a fulfilling life. Does that make sense? Or someone who doesn't necessarily ask for much or want for much. And maybe the type of person that'd be like, you know what, as long as I have food on my table, food on my plate, and a roof over my head, I'm blessed. So that could be the case with you today. And I think this is going to be very beneficial, this type of energy, very beneficial for, manifestation practices, and also a heightened, psychic abilities or intuition. And the only other aspect that I can get from this card is also that if in fact you did have the ancestors maybe are blessing you with the desire to actually want to live an opposite life this time around, such as a more extravagant, more material based life this time around as well. It just seems like you have been given the natural tools, like something that you don't even need to go to school for, to really succeed in this life. And I do feel like it's because you do have innate psychic abilities or intuition. I mean, maybe maybe the gift is meant for you to guess the right lotto numbers. You know what I mean? But I do believe that whatever career field that you choose, this asset of psychic abilities that your ancestors has given you will be a great asset, will be invaluable. Now we also have the hawk, and it says omens and messages. So once again, I'm getting prophetic energy with you. One of your ancestors, I do feel like this is what your ancestors are looking like. They're more, I feel they're more women coming through, and these are the seers, these are the mystics, these are the prophets. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for your ancestors that are heavily influencing who you are. I'm getting like you like I said, you may be having dreams, you may be having deja vu, which are actually you get heavy downloads. I would be shocked if you did not know this about yourself, that you are in fact psychic. I would be shocked if you didn't know this. Because if you didn't, there is going to be something that's going to be happening. And I don't want to scare you, but we do have El Moria, which says awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. So what I mean is that there is going to be, I guess some people would even call it an awakening of sorts, or an epiphany, a revelation. They're showing me the Tower card, so that's my indication that it's something that's really going to shake your entire foundation and change how you view life. Like if you don't know that you have these abilities and have not necessarily utilized them the way that you should, or the way that the ancestors are advising you to, there is going to be a moment where it becomes quite evident and obvious. This could be maybe like you predicted someone, is having a baby, or you predicted, something tragic that may happen, you know what I mean? But it's going to be to where you have no doubts that this is what you have, and that this is what you possess. Yeah, you're definitely part of the family. And the next card that we have is prioritize, and it says Archangel Metatron, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So they're showing me the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, there is a business that's going to come out of this. I'm like I said, I'm not sure if you're doing what I'm doing, but if you are, you will definitely be successful in the long run. Absolutely, you will be successful. But like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but these gifts will be a great asset. You can maybe predict what's going to be the next biggest trend, and you create it, and it just becomes the next biggest thing. That's because you have heightened insight, which at this point it's not insight, it's just really literally you being connected to, the powers that be. But I see there's going to be a moment where you do realize this, and there's going to be a moment where you actually realize how this could be a benefit to you, because you're meant to benefit from this. This is not, yes, I do see that you can definitely help people with this, but I get the sense that you are meant to prosper, and the ancestors gave you this gift in order to do so. So there's going to be a moment where I feel like you're going to realize this and then really buckle down to a business or a career field that you are just going to soar. Like this hawk. So let's get to this last card. We have Wishbone. A wish is granted. They're taking me back to the dreams. So some of you guys could actually be dreaming about your life. This could be something that you may. I get the sense that you're dreaming about how your life, how you wish your life would be, which could be maybe, more abundance and more wealth. And they're saying that it's not necessarily a dream; it's really more so of a vision of something that is going to happen. It's prophetic, like I said. Pile number one, this is probably my favorite pile already, because first of all, you're part of the family. On top of that, you are meant to really kind of capitalize off the fact that you have been blessed with the gifts from your ancestors. So I don't think that you should feel ashamed or feel any type of way for doing that, because this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And I see that maybe some of you guys have lived a simple life in a previous life. However, I get the sense that it's now supposed to be the opposite this time around. And the ancestors ensure that this was going to be possible for you by bestowing you with these type of gifts. So with that being said, pile number one, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you next time. Bye. What is up, pile number two? This is for those who picked the citrine stone. We're about to find out what about you was inherited from your ancestors. The cards that they gave us are the Two of Swords in reverse, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Moon card in reverse, we have number two, Intuition. This is also the High Priestess. We have Transportation. We have the Serpent. We have Kutumi, Cloak of Wisdom. We have Compassion. And this card I will get into later. Pile number two with you, I'm kind of getting, like, it feels like a savior. It feels like almost like an angel, but it's like an angel with a twist. And the twist is more so like, I'm getting fire with you, like someone who is, who really encourages people in more of a fiery way, but it's still from a place of love. But overall, I'm getting like a savior. I really believe the gifts that you have from ancestors, what was inherited, is I kind of feel like you definitely have strength from them. And also, I feel like you kind of have the ability to really have, or to really carry the weight of other people's burden. And I also feel like you were given this strength because you are kind of a light or a beacon of hope for people in some way, shape, or form. It could be in your own little circle, or it could be more of a global sense. But I see that this was important because I feel like maybe in the past life, this is something that you've always been someone who was almost angelic in nature, but still didn't allow people to walk all over you. Like, don't take my kindness for a weakness now. They're also showing like Joan of Arc, the image of Joan of Arc, like a fighter for people who maybe cannot necessarily speak, a fighter of justice, but it's coming from a place of love. It's just the ancestors are pretty fiery in nature, your ancestors, and so that fire was also inherited. Let's begin. So we have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords in reverse. So this is, for me, I get the card. The tarot cards that they gave you are really, I feel, examples of individuals and people that you are meant to impact in some way, shape, or form. And with the Two of Swords in reverse, this is for people who are lost, whether it's figuratively or literally, but I get more in a figurative sense, in the sense that people don't know where to go. People don't know I'm trying to think if we should say this, but trigger warning. I'm getting like people who don't know necessarily if they want to continue this life as well. The crows on these cards are meant to represent spirit, and I kind of feel like you're somewhat of a guide for people, or at least that was bestowed within you. But I get that you're meant to really encourage people to really live this experience in some way, shape, or form, and not to give up on whatever that they're trying to pursue, and really give them a sense of direction as well. I'm getting leader vibes with you as well. We have Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Even if it's like motivational speaker, like you want people to be encouraged to continue with their projects, or they're making me feel love situations or love scenarios. So I kind of feel like you could possibly be someone who people come to for like advice when it comes to the love matter. But I feel like this is for people who don't necessarily feel like they're progressing in life as well. This is for people who feel like, you know, life is at a standstill, or maybe life isn't necessarily going the way that there should. They're showing me the World card, which indicates goals, achievement, soul goals, and soul achievement. I do believe part of your purpose was kind of influenced by your ancestors as well, in a sense that I kind of feel like you really are meant to give people that fiery passion, make them feel like life is worth living again. This is for the people who feel lost, who feel confused, who find themselves questioning their existence. This is for people who are currently going through depression, especially if it's when it regards to like monetary, like depression. They're making me feel like, you know, when I don't know what century it was or what year it was, but like the 1920s, the Great Depression, when people would literally end their own life, trigger warning, end their own life due to the stocks crashing, or maybe something like that. Like that. I'm getting that vibe too. Like if people maybe have to file for bankruptcy, I'm getting that. Or people who have lost a job, that can definitely send them into depression. People who got fired, or people who are trying to be successful in business but have yet to really do that. I'm just getting someone who is, you're meant to really light a fire within them in your own way. Now we also have the Moon card in reverse. The Moon card in reverse, in this case, I'm getting people with also, these are the people who maybe have been diagnosed with some type of mental disability, I guess. So you could be someone who maybe work with people who have these type of needs. But this is really, I'm getting depression. And I'm getting, it's like people who are just in such a dark place or dark abyss. And I see you coming in with like a torch that lights everything up to where it's no longer dark, if that makes sense. But I'm getting some, you do it in a way, I'm getting this, you're fiery. The answers just gave you some type of fiery nature. So like where most people may be like, come on, you gotta try again, you gotta get up. You are more so like, get your ass up. I know you're not gonna let this, take you down. I know you're not gonna do that. Like, do you not see how far you came from? Which means that you have every ability to go even further. Like, that's the type of things I'm getting. Your approach may not necessarily be approved by people. Like, let's say, for example, you could be a psychiatrist, like you could be in whatever field that you're in. I feel like, or just maybe the people around you who come seek you for advice, your approach may not necessarily be the most expected, or maybe even the most liked, but it's definitely effective. So of course we have number 2, which is intuition. What they definitely bestowed upon you was definitely a heightened level of what I feel is empathy, especially with the moon card, and psychic abilities, or just, I'm getting more so in the sense where I'm getting empathy. Like, you guys could be an empath. You guys are strong enough to handle this. Being an empath, I feel like it gets glorified so many times, to where people don't necessarily realize how draining that is, and how really, if you really are an empath, you're someone who has to protect their energy often. But I'm getting the sense that you're actually very strong, to where you can probably do that, take on people's energy very often, and very to the point where they feel less of a burden on their own shoulders. So I'm getting a heightened empath. Now we had transportation. I think the only reason why Spirit had brought this card out is to really indicate progression. The train's still trucking, in the sense that you help people continue to be on track. I get like a guide. It feels like an angel or a guide energy from you. And it, like I said, you don't have to necessarily do it in such a big scale. I'm getting, even within your friends group, you could be like the leader, and people look to you for directions and encouragement. You could be someone that people tend to talk to all the time whenever an issue comes, or when people want to feel comfort or encouraged. But I feel like, once again, it's coming across as very fiery, but it's not fiery to where people get burned. It's fiery as in warm. Now we have the Serpent. So you possess healing abilities. Overall, that's what it is. I also get the sense that, just like the snake just sheds its own skin, you two have an impact on people to where they completely transform. It just seems like the answers should definitely equip you with the right materials. And in this world, that fiery is definitely more, in my opinion, more effective than someone being like, oh, well, you know what, just dust yourself off and try again. You being like, get your ass up and you gonna try again. That's more effective for me. So I think the answers is definitely new, the type of energy to give to you and to have you inherit in order for what you're doing and the type of person that you're going to be and the type of, I see you impacting many people's lives. Like, they knew that they had to do that in order to be the most effective. So we have Kutumi, which is Cloak of Wisdom, and it says, dun, 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 you already know the answer you seek, trust what you know. This is the heightened intuition, but like I said, it's a feeling that you get. It's that feeling which, like, I feel like you will already can tell how people are feeling, even when people say, "Oh no, I'm okay." You can definitely feel that it's something else that's bothering them, and I think you could probably even correctly state what the problem actually is. It's like, even if you're not a professional counselor or a psychiatrist will actually help, not just gaslight. Sorry. But if you are a psychiatrist or a psychologist, counselor, advisor, something of that nature, even if you're not that, I feel like that's kind of who you become within, like, whatever group or setting that you're in. And then with you, I'm getting an aura of like oranges, like the color of fire. Now we also have compassion. Archangel Zadkiel, soften your heart with respect to the situation, all the people involved, including yourself. And this is the main source of of how you communicate, and it's coming from a place of compassion and also love. Like I said, it's like it's an angel or a spirit or a guide that I'm getting from you. And I feel like the answers just definitely make sure you have a lot of the fiery nature about them, because it definitely will be helping you as far as being that beacon of light and beacon of hope, and that person that really instilled passion within them and give them almost a new will to live. The last card that we have is wealth. Nice. So they're showing me the Six of Wands. So I get the sense that you're going to be very popular, or just, it doesn't have to be famous, but popular amongst your group. Like, I see, once again, leadership vibes with you. I do believe your ancestors are leaders themselves, and or were leaders themselves, and that part of that was definitely, a lot of that was definitely instilled within you. I get the sense that this nature that you have could also be profitable. Maybe that's something that you'll also discover. You could be like some type of personality, whether it's social media personality, YouTube personality, reality personality, I don't know. Maybe you could be the next Dr. Iyanla Van Zant, but unlike her, you actually fix people's lives. Overall, pile number 2. I don't know if you know this, but you're doing the Lord's work, and I feel the universe is absolutely proud of you, because the answers is almost like, you're just like me, you know. it's you're basically an extension of them, is what they're saying. So, with that being said, pile number 2, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully you enjoyed this reading. And I will catch you next time. Bye. What is up, pile number 3? This is for those who picked the clear quartz crystal. We're about to find out what about you was inherited by your ancestors. The cards that they gave us are the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. We also have the 8 of Swords. We have the 4 of Cups. In reverse, by the way. We also have number 15, Temptation. This is the Devil card. We also have Health. We have the Lady of the Lake. We have the Divine Director. This is entitled Intervention and Purpose. Patience. And this card that we'll get into later. So it's you, pile number 3. The first thing that they made me, well, the first thing that they said was your mind. It almost feels like you're so ahead of your time. The way that you think, the way that you maybe communicate, the perspectives, the ideas, the concepts that you have are not like anyone else, or at least not what most people or the majority are doing. I feel like it's smart, it's intelligence, it's wisdom, but it's not necessarily something that you have to go to school about. Like, in fact, you'll be the type of person who, if you're in school and you're taught something, you'll be the type of person to question that. They'll be like, are you sure that's how it's supposed to be? Or how did, that historian know? Like, you'll be that type of person, like a philosopher is what I'm getting. I actually think that's what your ancestors consist of, are philosophers. Philosophers, inventors, creators, people who kind of think outside the box, or people who are like the first to do something because they did do something that was out of the norm. That's what I'm getting. And that definitely was inherited. You could have had straight A's, you don't have to, but I'm getting intelligence that's maybe even beyond the comprehension of most people. And I kind of also feel like this group, I'm getting also like alien origins. Like, maybe like sometimes you feel like the way that you think, like, am I being punked? Like, is this the real world, or am I in the Twilight Zone? Because it's the way that you think and the perspectives that you had, you find them to be normal, but you find it odd that everyone else doesn't think the way that you do. So a lot of times you may even feel like you don't belong here. You're a foreigner or an alien. Because I just feel like you're just way ahead of your time. Now let's begin. We have the Ace of Swords. This is, I'm getting a very sharp mind, a very inquisitive mind, a very perceptive mind. They really wanted to highlight different perspectives. So I kind of feel like that kind of indicates part of your purpose and part of the reason as to why you came here. But perspective, you have a openness or a willingness to really look at things differently, even if it's common to look at things a certain way. It's just very philosophical, I'm getting as well. Now we also have the 8 of Swords, I was about to say in reverse, but this is not in reverse. But I think the reason why they almost made me say in reverse is because you are kind of meant to release people from this restrained way of thinking or restrained way of being. And it's just by way of you speaking and you just really enlightening people with your own views and your own perspective. Yeah, I'm getting like, especially when it comes to like society, you know how society sometimes dictates how most people should believe. I kind of feel like you're supposed to break that down. Just really destroy that. One mind at a time. Because like for you, it's like everyone's blind to this fact, or everyone's blind, everyone's not listening. Like, where is your head at? Is part of what you always, like, what are you thinking? Like, why? Or maybe even like, why are you guys so stupid? These may be questions that you ask all the time. It's like a brilliant mind, but that oftentimes get misconstrued as crazy. And we also have the Four of Cups. I kind of also feel like with you, maybe the answers are kind of did you a disservice because you're coming across as alienish, just someone who this world is kind of boring and average compared to what your soul remembers. And so your answers is, I feel, has pretty much bestowed upon you even more, a new way of thinking. It's not necessarily new to you, but it's a new way of thinking for everyone else. And because everyone else doesn't necessarily have that type of point of view, or most people don't have that type of point of view to really question how things normally are, it's kind of boring for you. It's like, why am I here? That disinterest. Because it's something, it's not necessarily interesting. But I get the sense overall you're meant to wake people up, in a sense. Wake people up from their dull life, it seems. And it's by you introducing maybe concepts or ideas or perspective that add some type of nuance to their dull life. Now we also have number 15, Temptation, which is a devil card. These are pretty much the same thing. This is just the baby version of this. Once again, it's a problem. How people are so almost like a slave to being told what they're supposed to believe, what they're supposed to say, how they're supposed to act. And I get the sense that you really are the epitome or the embodiment of doing the exact opposite, or at least just questioning it. I think that's where it comes to be, that's where the issue lies, is that people are not even just questioning how things are. I'm getting like advocate, I'm getting someone who is like a scientist, someone who could also be some type of fighter for reform or justice. Yeah. But once again, this is more so of I feel like a bigger mission is being highlighted by your ancestor, is the fact that you were bestowed upon this type of mind to really enlighten everyone else. I almost feel like you probably came from a different planet or a different dimension, and it's like you came here and almost regret it sometimes, because people are not necessarily showing inclination to your ideas and your concept, or even just trying to think differently. Now we also have health. So, I really feel like it's gonna sound so bad saying this, but they're making me say it. It's almost like a disease. Even how people don't necessarily, people are just restrained in the way that they think. They don't dare to think differently or to be differently. And it's like your ancestors are saying, this is kind of an issue. This is what's killing people. Not maybe literally, but more so like, this is the problem. They do believe that it's affecting their emotional health and also their mental health, and possibly even their physical health. But mostly mental health, because like I said, it's really about how people are thinking, how people are what type of perspectives that they have, what kind of concept, are they questioning things. Like, I'm getting like philosophers, like maybe you are a descendant of like, I don't know, who's a philosopher, Socrates or something. We also have the Lady of the Lake. So once again, intelligence, like, up the ass. Intelligence, but also, once again, it's like I'm also getting seeker of truth, someone who, once again, questions. Like, just because somebody has always said this is the way, this is the right thing, and you're more so like, okay, so who says that's right now? That was right maybe years ago, but what about now? Like, you're someone who's really, daring. Like, you're the type of person who will probably walk into a church and question everything that's being preached. And it's going to be controversial. So I think you are definitely are going to naturally cause controversy, but it's not going to be in vain though. Because I actually think it's helping progress this world. Seeker of truth here. Someone who's always seeking knowledge, thirst for knowledge for sure. I think you also find, even let's talk about religion. Even if it's religion, I think you enjoy religion, but not to actually practice it, but you enjoy the concepts behind it and the beliefs and the origin. Yeah. I almost feel like if it doesn't pique your interest as well, just life in general, it's rather dull for you. If people are not necessarily piquing your interest as well, it's dull. That's because I feel like the Answers has also given you a thirst for that, a thirst of something, some type of nuance, some type of difference. Even if it's something that you don't agree with, just the fact that it's different is something that really intrigues you. That type of desire was instilled in you by the ancestors. Now we have the Divine Director. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. So what's funny is that you are kind of here. I almost feel like you crash landed here, and you are meant to interrupt how things have been for some time. And it doesn't have to be on a global scale, but just in your mere little circle, you're meant to interrupt and disrupt, but in the best possible way, and it's for progressive change. Yeah. Now we also have patience, and I think this is more so of a message to you So they're saying in due time. In due time, this will become something of the norm. The way that you think, the way that you question, the way that you promote being progressive and having your own thoughts. In due time, will that become the norm? Is what they're saying. But I'm not sure if this is going to be something that happens in your lifetime, in this incarnation. But it says, Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So, it's going to take some time for this world to catch up to you. And so that may be a little bit frustrating or maybe boring to deal with. But, hey, this is I feel like your purpose is now kind of being highlighted as well. But overall, the Ancestors has really given you such a brilliant mind, a brilliant way of thinking, and interesting perspectives, and the ability to really question and to really promote change and progressiveness. And I think that's so amazing. So yeah, pile number 3. Let's get into the last card. We have egg, success assured with good plans and hard work. So I kind of feel like you maybe know this about yourself. Maybe you have always felt yourself to be different. And I believe this is in reference to patience. Maybe you do have a occupation in which you're trying to change the world, or maybe just trying to change people's lives in some sense. And maybe for a while it feels like all your hard work has been in vain. But Spirit is here to say that no, it has not. And it will happen in due time. You will see the results of it. And maybe, I don't know why they're bringing me to Nobel Peace Prize with you. Like, you may be the first person you may be a scientist who maybe discovers the cure to a previously incurable disease. Yeah, you could be even a person and a politician of sorts, an honest one, and someone who actually wants to reform, cause some type of reformation. But yeah, it's definitely a hard task. It's not an easy task because a lot of times this could go unnoticed, but Spirit is saying that it's something that your impact will be undeniable. So yeah, your ancestors gave you the equipment, and it could sometimes be a burden. I can see that how it could be a burden, but the ancestors definitely had nothing but good intentions by giving you this gift, this brilliant mind of yours. So with that being said, pile number 3, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Bye. What is up, pile number 4? This is for those that picked the Black Tourmaline Stone. We're about to find out what about you was inherited from your ancestors. The cards that they gave us are the Knight of Swords in reverse. We also have the Hermit card in reverse. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. We have number 18, Shadow. This is the Moon card. We also have male, female. We have Water Fairy. We have Hope, Love, and Acceptance. We have Moon Cycles. And we have this last card that we'll get into later. This is going to be an interesting bunch. So the first thing that they're telling me is that, first of all, this is going to be one of those things, one of those cases where you are either if you were in this world and I feel like if you were born a male, you will have a lot of feminine energy within you. If you were born a female, you will have a lot of masculine energy within you, if that makes sense. That's the first thing that they told me. So there's that dichotomy. But the thing about it, I feel like with you, there needs to be a balance, pretty much. And when I say masculine and feminine, I'm not talking about if you're effeminate. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about more so of it in a spiritual sense. You guys already know that. But I see that the purpose here was really to gain some type of growth and some soul growth and some nuances within your own soul. I can see that. I feel as though how can I say, your ancestors are primarily feminine, whether it's women or people who are very much psychics, mystics, people who are who embrace their vulnerabilities, who are empaths. Yeah. And this lifetime, what they're trying to bestow upon you is that divine feminine energy that is really going to be such an asset, because it's almost as if maybe in past lives you guys were not necessarily the most in tune with these feminine energy, and now it's time to step into that. I also feel like if you are a man and you pick this pile, it's to the point where you're kind of meant to really embrace these feminine attributes and traits within you, and it's meant to really show people like, yo, this is how it's supposed to be done. Because obviously we live in a society where society dictates how a gender should behave, and you're meant to be the embodiment of why that isn't necessarily the correct way. It's just one way, but it's a spectrum. Okay, so let's begin. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So yeah, I just feel like in this lifetime, you guys have been tasked with trying to really gain. It feels like you guys are meant to develop definitely a more mature and develop a more sophisticated emotional type of being and energy. And it's kind of straying away from this masculine, action-oriented type of energy. This incarnation is meant to be the exact opposite of what you've been through in a past life. I feel like if you feel like you have more masculine energy in this lifetime, that's just remnants from your past life, and you're meant to really develop a more feminine approach to life as well, so that you can have more of a better balance. Now we also have the Hermit card in reverse. So this is talking about being more introspective, looking from within, which is also a feminine quality. This is also, once again, I'm getting psychic abilities. I'm also getting wisdom from that. I'm getting intuition with this group, which is also a feminine attribute. Listening to your heart, that type of, saying. So they're also saying that this is something that's really going to make you I don't know why they're talking about this, but they want to, a suitable partner for your romantic love interest in this life. It's really going to benefit the both of you guys, because a lot of times what can happen is that masculine or even feminine traits could even become a little bit distorted. I see this more in masculine, like overly, abrasive, or just overly, it's not in a healthy way, right? Possessive and things like that. But this time around, I do see that you're meant to really express things, but from the inside out, not what society is making you think that you should behave or think. But I am getting a hint of like intuition and psychic abilities with you. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse, so definitely the main goal of what the ancestors have been trying to bestow within you is heightened emotional capabilities, heightened intuition, heightened psychic abilities, having you embrace your emotions and express your emotions, and being in tune with that side. That's really the main purpose. But I'm getting like more so like it's meant to really be a statement of sorts. Like, it's okay for boys to cry. It's okay if women, decide to do things that maybe only men are supposed to do, Like, I'm getting that type of balance or dichotomy. Now we have number 18, Moon. This is a Moon card, Shadow. And I think it's very interesting and pretty much very telling how this image is. I get that this is like masculine, this is masculine, this is feminine. And I feel like a part of you, I think both of these attributes are very pronounced or very obvious. And it's about, for me, in this lifetime, you guys being more, it almost feels like it's now time for the feminine to shine in this lifetime. And this is what the ancestors are helping you with. So there's a duality here. And let's get into the next card, because this may explain it all. So we have male, female. This card usually indicates that in a past life, you were a different gender than you are now. So if you're a female, this card indicates that you were a male in a past life. And this is pretty much what's affecting this life. But once again, it's the duality that we have here. The duality of masculine and feminine traits and qualities and attributes. And it's about balancing that in this life. And also correcting beliefs or maybe even, non-progressive thought patterns when it comes to gender. And I feel like you're meant to be the embodiment of almost like a contradiction of sorts, but in the best possible way. This is usually the group that could definitely be non-binary or trans. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there are some people who identify with that who chose this pile. But overall, I think it's you're meant to be the embodiment of the importance of having both masculine and feminine qualities. And I feel like this time around, the ancestors has bestowed upon you very divine-like feminine energy within you. We have the water fairy, which says feelings and emotion, which can't get any more feminine than that. So I get the sense that it's really, and if it's, if it's not introspective and it's expressive, it's definitely coming from a place of vulnerability or emotions or empathy. I think these are qualities that are often shunned, especially if you're a male too, because oftentimes society has taught men to not necessarily have this, that you shouldn't cry, or you shouldn't think like that, or you think like a girl, or you talk like a girl, things like that. You're kind of meant to really dispel those thoughts and dispel those perspectives. This is also for my people who are tomboys as well. Grew up as a tomboy. Sorry if y'all hear, we have an annoying ass kid who likes to ride his motorbike on the street. And sometimes I do wish that he gets hit by a car. It's fine. No, but it's annoying. I hope it doesn't annoy you as much. Now we also have hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine words. Choose loving thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna say it because this is what I've been feeling for a very long time, or as I was reading this. You know how in some cultures, people who exhibit masculine and feminine traits physically are considered to be like deities or worshipped? I'm getting that with you. I'm getting like someone who just effortlessly and fluidly, goes through masculine and feminine traits, and that's how it should be actually. And you're really like goddess God energy, but this is the type of energy that people often judge you for. When it's like spirit is saying like you're actually the one who should be doing the judging, because you're the one who's actually a god or a goddess, This is meant to really affect people and really show people that that many people come in different forms, and to really promote the acceptance of those type of people and the acceptance of everyone and love for everyone. As cheesy as that may sound, but I think even if you're not trying to be like somewhat of a model or an example for people, I think even in your own way, you're making somewhat of a stance. Like this could even be, like I just see dichotomy. No matter how you are, some type of contradiction that you're doing or being, according to society. Like you could be someone who is a woman who was always taught that you should only want to get you should only want to get married, you should only want to be a mother. Those should be your only two things to give you fulfillment. When you beg to differ, you don't believe that, and this is something that you stand by. But I do see a contradiction, and the purpose is to show people that you are the embodiment of how people should treat, or how you should treat people, and how you should really love people and treat people equally. And you are meant to really be an example of how people should be comfortable with. Oh, yeah. So I do get the sense that this may be something that you this may be something that you felt as growing up and maybe were uncomfortable with it at one point, but this is something that you will definitely step into. And like I said, it doesn't have to be super, drastic, but I just feel like the purpose is to really gain a different perspective from your previous life. And together, it's going to give you such an amazing balance. And this is kind of what your soul wants as well. So your ancestors came through to really give you the feminine energy. And I see it's not only the typical feminine energy, but I also see that it's those type of feminine energy that are strong and that are fighters as well. Now we also have moon cycle, which is also feminine energy. Yeah. So notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon those cycles. So they're saying this is a phase for you, as far as you've complete soul phase number 1, and now it's time to complete soul phase number 2, so that we can have a balance. I see divine feminine energy. It feels godly. It feels like people would not understand. Maybe you will often get judged and misjudged and maybe mistreated. But it's like you're actually way beyond people's comprehension, because I see like this is like a man who feels like I can sometimes exhibit feminine qualities and still be me. That's something that should be okay with. Or this could be a woman who exhibits masculine energy and doesn't necessarily want to follow the society's rules of always wanting to be a mom or a wife. And embracing that and promoting that and being comfortable with that. The last card that we have, because honestly I can talk about this all day because this is kind of something that I feel like this is amazing in the sense that this is kind of what I've always preached, but even though I don't necessarily, I'm not non-binary or things like that, but this is something I always try to promote, of how you should be fluid when it comes to gender. And I mean gender as in behavior and energies. The last card that we have is Tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead. You don't walk an easy path, I have to say. You're going to be met with a lot of opposition. Just you living your life, just you being you. The answers you have fighters on your. It's like, don't get it full. Femininity does not mean weak. Okay. In fact, even vulnerability, the way that they explained it does not mean weak. In fact, it actually shows strength, being able to display those emotions rather than keeping them inside. But overall, I see fighters on your team. But this could be like female who were knights, and that's not a thing. That was not a thing of the past. Females becoming knights. I see that. I see females who had to disguise themselves. They're showing me Mulan. Well, females who had to disguise themselves in order to do something that only men were supposed to do. So, yeah. So pile number 4, I think I took your time long enough. Your ancestors is really bestowed upon you I see an immense amount of divine feminine energy, but overall the purpose is to really, they're giving you an amazing balance of both masculine and feminine energy, and being able to embrace that and really promote that and really embody that effortlessly and comfortably. So yeah. And you're kind of meant to, you know, impact some type of change or some type of way of thinking. And it's only a matter of time, as this tortoise card suggests, before people finally start getting the picture. So in the meantime, it may be a tough road to follow, but they've given you the strength that you need in order to endure any type of opposition. So with that being said, pile number 4, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Hopefully it was insightful and maybe explained some things and gave you some clarity. But I like this pile. This is one of my favorite piles for sure. But overall, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.